Alright. We did it. We made it. We're back to the subtle beach vibe. Oh, I hope everyone's doing good. Is this relaxed enough? I hope this is chill enough for everybody. Just having a little bit of green screen fun. Welcome to 99.9 The Late Night Akash. If you're watching this later, you can kind of shuffle through, skip through, see what you can pick up. This is a live broadcast for us and our friends. Just for New Age insights, relaxation vibes. Hopefully it wasn't too tough of a Monday for anybody. Hi Runt, how are you? Thanks for joining me today. It was really nice to see you. How are things going with your tarot endeavors? I was unable to keep up with you in the live chat in the earlier program today. For your update as to how things are going. High five, Blessed. Welcome. Welcome into the program, you guys. I do have some cards here in my hand. This is a real, chill out vibe. Let's, I'll get a fire started here on the beach. It was funny, I reached in for a match, and the matchbook I pulled out was the one for Sagittarius. This is an interesting time of year, I find. It's very culturally dominated. Very, very culturally dominated, I find. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. The scariest thing happened. It was like I lost my vision a while ago. It's going all right. I haven't had time. Isn't that the story? Finding the time. And when we do have the time, it seems like we're so tired when we have the time, and the inspiration isn't strong enough to carry us through. So it's a real challenge sometimes to get our hobbies, our passions, and our endeavors up off the ground. I totally relate to that, Runt, 100%. It's your season? It's your season 5, Blessed. That's good. That's good. Sagittarius. I've had some pretty interesting Sagittarius friends through the years. Really amazing people. I'm always taken aback by the level of presence you guys carry with you. Hello and welcome. So in this culturally dominated time of year where we've are encouraged to go holiday shopping and do all this stuff, put up our Christmas lights or whatever festival lights, I should say. I should remain most politically correct, I guess. All-inclusive. An all-inclusive getaway to the night beach with Legend and Five Blessed and Rebecca and Runt. Hi, Tati. Welcome. Not to be rude. We did make the list. Yet not to be rude. Yeah, you made the list. That's good. You can keep a list. I keep it written on my wrist. I'm feeling a little bit listless. I'm listless tonight. I'm in full chill mode. It's been a long time since we run 2 programs in one day, but today's program was so much fun, but I really wanted to have a campfire gathering for everybody tonight in case they had anything they wanted to talk about, anything to inspire the group chats. Personally, I've been very busy. I've been having some very strong visions in the realm between awake and asleep. My dreams have been pretty intense too, but not nearly as intense as the visions between waking and sleeping. Those ones are pretty heavy duty. Hi Margarita. Ja 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 ja. Ah cha 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 cha. Ah, let me tell you something. Yeah, it's awesome. You excited for the holiday season? It's a beautiful time, especially if you remain with strong bonds in family. And family can be one of the toughest things. It's very awesome. It's because it's a beautiful level of sharing and of like being yourself and bouncing back and forth off each other's vibrations. But when you're in your family's world, that's that world, right? And it almost seems like it can be very cut and dry night and day. Like, I want to stay in your world while my world disappears. Take me to the captain and show him why we're here. Thanks, Ab Marie. How are you? It's been a while. Welcome into the program. I hope everybody's Monday's okay. Hopefully you can hear the music all right. Is the music loud enough? Just wanted to put on some chill vibe and relax for the most part. Go ahead, you can ask a question, of course. This Akash program is chat driven. I'm just here watching you guys, and I mean, I gotta be honest, 9 times out of 10, the entertainment in the chat is far much better than the content that I'm bringing forward. Yeah, I wish I was on the beach too, so I just pretend. When I can't get there due to time constraints or financial or fiscal responsibilities, then I just pretend. I'm the great pretender. I am the great pretender. It's good because I'm a bit of a crackpot for sure. For sure. Nowhere near that crafty tarot guy. I hope that guy comes in. I hope we see him. I don't even know what time it is over in England or the UK. Will you get married in 2020? To be honest, Safak, I'm not doing like those types of questions tonight. I'm not like doing like future predictions. That program was earlier tonight. I'm sorry we go on at random times. But what I'll do, Safak, is I'll pull you an oracle card, and we can get a message to you anyways. It might not be that specific to your question, but I got some cards here. Technically, we're still a tarot channel, but we're evolving. I really enjoy some of these programs where it's just you guys come to relax and chat with one another. And I can just like kind of be a bit of a facilitator. You're always chilling? Absolutely. So just hold tight. Just hang tight. And who doesn't love the sound of the beach waves and the card shuffles? Literally now that it's cold. Yeah, it's pretty chilly. I just got back. I went like really far north. I had to drive 5 hours north for a certification. I was literally closer to Alaska than I was to Montana for a while. And it was chilly up there. It was like ice cold. Well, what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold. Case of Fok, get ready. Here comes your goddess oracle for you. This is kind of nice. You've got the card of the white buffalo calf woman. Isn't she beautiful? So in your mind's eye, Safak, in your mind's eye, the celebration, the marriage, the romance, the life, you kind of see it there as like an enigma, as a goal, as kind of the ideal. And I wish I could just like straight up tell you, yes, you'll get married next year. But I can in good conscience tell you that. But what the white buffalo calf woman has to say is that you are celebrated in your uniqueness, in your individuality. So, in regards to your love life and attracting in someone that would complement you, or that would be there to have and to hold, so to speak, it kind of takes away from the direction. It takes away from your individuality, so to speak. It's a sign that you're seeking for a level of codependence. You want that. You want to be depended on. You want to be able to depend on somebody else. But a lot of times, we need to be in full definition that that situation does not lend strength to our, highest, everybody says the greatest version of yourself. And I find that a lot in tarot and in what I've been doing here. It's like people want two things. They want a romantic relationship, and they want to be the greatest version of themselves. But in all rationality, does not the former take away from the latter? If you're having to accommodate your life to make time, it's just that it's not your strongest direction to be coupled. If you're looking, but you might not be interested in the ascension process, in discovering all of life's purposes and mysteries. You may be very content just to say, I've gone far enough with my spiritual journey. I just want something simple. I just want a mundane wife and house and 2 kids and a dog. And that's all well and good. But Safak, the reason I feel that you're still single and you're still searching is because Spirit is encouraging you to come in a much stronger direction in this lifetime than what you have been, or than what a marriage or relationship would allow you to do, because it requires your focus, What's more good than a brick is a bride. There's Steve, as I kind of meander on. But Safak, definitely next time we're doing a live tarot program, we'll make sure we get you in for a reading. Because like I was telling people earlier today, I really hope and set an intention and pray that everybody single that comes for the readings and into the chat, I want you guys to find your happiness. I want you to find the fullness of your expression and imagination and happiness. And if that a relationship is truly what you want, then I want that for you too, because I'm a part of the universe. And what you want, the universe also wants for you. 100%. So, don't give up hope. Don't give up on the dream of being married. But again, make sure that you stand in full appreciation of your individuality, your strongest direction, and the greatest version of yourself, because you have time. We don't have to ding with a ding-dong husband or a brick of a bride, or however we want to say it, It's that opportunity for you to go out and live your fullest life, because nobody's going to say that you can't, or you don't have time, or your priorities are all screwed around, right? Yeah, I'm Monday. Right now I'm being Monday. That's right. And I like this. I like creating the program with the beach and the music and stuff, because the ones that you see on YouTube with Meditative Mind or New Relax Music, where they turn on the live stream so you can have live chat and the beautiful melodies, I found those chat rooms are filled with children, literally teenagers and children. So it's kind of cool to have one of these. If I could do it 24/7, I would, for a more mature crowd. We are the world. We are the children. All right. Hi, Entity of Light. I didn't see you sneak into the chat room there. My mom told me not to cry. Better days are coming. 50 years later, I'm still waiting. Right? Imagine if each day was perpetually better than the last. Oh my God, after 50 years, you would be having like these amazing applications of days where, you know, it would be like the exponential levels of euphoria, time in and time out. It's kind of like I was listening and hearing the story about, like, if we relate life like a dream, pretty soon we get bored of dreaming the same old dreams, and then we're like, well, maybe we need to get a little more adventurous, right? Because we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy, right? It's what we need sometimes, to live like very primitive and wild. You know, a lot of these people will go out into the back 40 or into the wilderness and they'll set up camp and they'll just completely disconnect. Or do you guys ever see those things where it's like, would you give your cell phone up to live in this beautiful secluded cabin in the woods? And people are like, yeah. But, you know, realistically, they'd get a day or two in and they would be like, get me the hell out of here. I need a caramel maki. I need a half-calf double decaf. I need my smartphone. I need my sneakers and an endless supply of Tootsie Rolls. Yeah, there's a seal. I'm a seal on the beach. Absolutely. Yeah. The more I think of you, the stranger I feel. Yeah. Oh yeah, seal, right? It's good stuff. I like that. And I was on my way back, I was listening to Tracy Chapman as well on the way home. You got a fast car. I got a plan to get us out of here. Working as in the convenience store. I wish oh man, it brings me to tears every time I hear Tracy Chapman singing about a fast car. Absolutely do. So now that we're all enlightened, what the hell are we going to do with it? Right? Because the rat race isn't very comfortable. Yeah. We're kind of just, you're right, Steve. We're kind of just like left here waiting, being like, all right, we're prepped. We've received it. You know, it switched over. 2012 is come and gone. We received the majority of all the downloads. We're fully knowledged up. We've got our Wu-Wei 9-dimensional, you know, glasses on. So now what? Now what do we do, right? It's almost like we need to get active. We need to inspire like a huge movement to like restore our I don't know what I want to call it. Restore our utopia, or like a renewal of Genesis into the planet. But I was talking with Robbins a little bit through comments, and her and I, both being Scorpio, we were on a bit of the same wavelength, and both listening to a lot of Terrence McKenna, and not the early stuff he did, just about tripping out and doing all that stuff and going to the Amazon, but like the later stuff in regards to like Gnosticism and his philosophy and stuff like that. Oh, where the hell was I going with this story? Don't even recall. But it kind of pertains to that. Like, what is it that we can expect? What are we going to do now that we've received, like, we've all taken the red pill, we've woke up from the matrix, right? And I guess anything that I could lend to the discussion about that would be to do whatever you want. do whatever you want, right? But we're held back by this like limiting apprehension or fear of being like, we're gonna run out of money, and nobody wants to be at like the drop-in center of or like, you know, down on the corner, howdy in the street. You don't want to give up your security, so you continue to run the rat race, so you don't run out of the cold hard cash, right? So this is kind of like we're still just waiting for these last major old paradigms to fall. Will we see it in our generation? I don't know, but at least what we can take comfort in is that we're creating this ripple effect for our grandchildren, so that, you know, they'll come to age and they'll realize, hey, like, our forefathers, our grandmas and grandpas were the ones that started really putting the sledgehammers into the wall of this thing. And when they come about, maybe all they have to do is blow it over, and they'll figure out a new way. Like, do we need to go back into tribes and mark our territories and recede back into the jungle? Can't be done, right? But we can have hope that, you know, there are some altruistic people alive now and that will live in the future that will find a way to make the transgressions of this particular, like, last century really fall away and go away. Call YouTube if you can't type. Make a complaint to Google if you're having trouble typing. Oh yeah, 100%. Take a trip down Route 66. That's some good advice too. Hit the open road. Get your motor running. Head out on the highway. Looking for adventure. But, you know, once you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt too, it's like, what's next? And I could be totally wrong. You know, our grandchildren, they might be receiving things that are more, because it seems to me like kind of this, you know, they're all hoping that we'll just kind of remain subdued, and they'll do whatever they want. It seems like a whole different world for people that still care about politics and money and power and control. And we're here to literally chilling, just being like, Jesus, what time does the party start? When does it all get going? Oh yeah, that's where I was going with the Terrence McKenna thing. It was kind of like he brought forward this insight that, like, and it wasn't him, it was other people that he read from long ago that had this theory that we were actually trapped here. In this planet, in this world, which wasn't even really meant for us. It wasn't even really created for us. And we're kind of like searching for a way out of here without like the help of God or nature or anything. And that's why kind of like the inner journey or going within, you know, is just kind of like really took off in the last little while. Like Simba and the grocery list. I need bananas. What else do I need? I need banana. Maybe a Cliff Bar. Some of the good old thank you water. Get me the heck out of this grocery store. Who's planning on eating a lot this marble chrysalis? I'm going to eat a lot this chrysalis. There's going to be food all around. I'm not going to worry or feel guilty or have like a conscience about like, oh, how am I going to lose the pounds in January, right? You know, and that's up to each and every one of us in our journey. You can have it. You can deny yourself and feel better. You can have it and feel better right now and then go later. It's up to you. I know I'm gonna eat a lot of goodies this Christmas, because literally this will be the first Christmas in the last 8 years. I've had to work December 25th the last 8 years in a row. So this is my first real Chrysalis without having to work on the 25th in 8 years. A rich man approached Jesus Christ and asked him how he could assure a foot in the heavens. When his answer was to give away all he had and follow him, he turned away sadly. Well, what a ding-dong. What a ding-dong. What you gonna do? You're rocking with the best. The man, the myth. Christmas is my second Thanksgiving. Yeah, isn't it? Like for you guys? Thanksgiving's almost bigger for family than Christmas is. And that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. Pizza is number one on the list. Pizza for Christmas. And then I return into the heavens. Yeah. A lot of those old, what do they call them? Parables. Some of them are pretty mysterious. Other of them, you can think about them from many different points of view and have a completely different take on everything. Why not just spend a little time at the beach? A goddess for the group. I like this. I better make sure it's right. There she is. It's Bridget, the goddess of creative spark. I like her. And I like creative spark too, because I believe no matter what goes on this planet, in this world, in your lives, that your divine spark, your divine creative spark, that's kind of like your own beach campfire. You treat it as such. And anyone that's, maybe if I can share, anybody that's like in meditation or kind of wonders about this stuff, I like to keep my own private fire burning in my visions, where it's like, I could just be eyes closed and breathing and kind of like silencing my mind, and then I was saying like the visions between sleep and awakeness, they start to come in. I like to have like a reference point of being able to have a sense of light in my visions that I know is mine, is me. And it's almost like sometimes when I think about death and what happens to us after we die, I often think like when my consciousness leaves my body, no matter where it goes, I'm going to stay still. I'm not going to like, even if there's entities and beings of light being like, come with us, follow us, we'll take you somewhere cool and groovy. I'm gonna be like, hold on. I'm meant to meet somebody here. Come back and check on me in a few hours or cosmic milliseconds. Come back and check. I'm not saying no, I'm just saying just give me a few minutes to chill out here. I just died, like I need a minute, and then if there was like the old like tunnel vision, ooh, the light at the end of the tunnel, maybe I should go that way. No. I don't know if there's a train coming the other way through the tunnel, and then the next thing I knew, I'm just on my way out of the tunnel, which is just another vajayjay, and come back to Earth. I don't know if I want that just yet either, so I'm just going to be like, well, okay, tunnel, stay there. I'm not going there just right yet. Okay? It could be like very dark, but that's okay. There's the darkness within the darkness should be most comforting. I'm not here to preach darkness. We're the new age, okay? Love and light, but it can't exist without the darkness, so I take great comfort in the dim, in the dark. As the Tao Te Ching always says, know the light, but stick to the dark. And it can be very useful or helpful at times. So, and then, I could be hanging out for a little while longer, and then all my fears and these monsters and, seeing my life before my eyes, like, what do they call that? Like the test of convergence, and then, you look back at your life and you think about all the things, and then you're beckoned back to the place where you died in your body, and you see your grieving family. So then you could just like go and haunt your old farmhouse You don't want to do that either. But I think it's important in Creative Spark just to know that you are a source of light. You're a bunch of photons too. Your dang consciousness. And it's still you. It might be unrecognizable to yourself, but it's still you. And I hold on to a very kind of strong belief that we create our own worlds even after death. So I'm just going to wait for everybody to come and make their offer like salesmen. Come with us, follow us, go to the tunnel, go to the light. I'm like, no. Just like, give me a blank canvas here. Give me some of the real estate out there in the universe where nobody's flying around or nobody's, chasing Wall Street. And let me paint. Let me use my creative spark, my isness. Let me take my photons and create new worlds and manifest my own visions away from the worry that I have to wake up and go to work on Monday morning, or that I can stay and I have full selection of all the music, and if I'm joined there by ascended masters who want to show me the way, I'm going to be all for that. But for the most off, I'm not going to let my creative spark ever disappear in life or even after death. I feel that it's vital, it's very important to have an eternal flame that is both your consciousness and outside of the non-local consciousness that you are, so that you have your center, you have your reference point, you have your cornerstone, your foundation, and your building block. Okay. That might be a little bit heavy. God, it's not the 1950s. Who says heavy anymore? That might be a little bit heavy, but that's just kind of like, if I just wanted to share, like, when you think about that creative spark and those visions outside of visions. Good night, Rebecca. Hopefully I'm not scaring you. Have sweet dreams. The darkness is the mother to the light. Yeah, you can look at it in that context too, right? Love and you can't have one without the other. Run says, I want to be reincarnated. What would you like to reincarnate as? Or who would you like to reincarnate as? Once you've fulfilled your goal, then you won't be reincarnated anymore. Unless by choice. They say that there are some Buddhas that even though they've attained enlightenment, they keep coming back to help other people achieve their awakening or their enlightenment, until all, like, I don't know how many millions of us need to be woken up, or like freed from the matrix, or from what they call this, like, some people call it like a quarantine planet, or a prison planet, right? Some people even go in so far to say that even the fact that you're alive right now means you're dead on the other side. Like, you died on the other side, and this is where you had to come before you actually reincarnate on the side that we typically view as the other side, as death. It actually gets kind of very heavy. And if you take someone in the Western world, like all of us, like, we're fascinated with reincarnation. We're fascinated with the idea of, like, wow, we have creative control, we can come back and we can delve into the Akash and pick a new adventure and write a new story for ourselves. That's amazing, that's awesome, I want to do that. But then if you were to go over to, like, the land of China, to where the Buddhas are, and the Swamis and the Gurus all are, they'd be like, reincarnation? Come on, I'm sick of coming back to this same old place. I really don't want to do that anymore. You're gonna come back as a wolf. I got a bit of wolfy. Some people have reptilian brains. I think I got a bit of a wolf brain. That's alright. We'll fly under the radar. Our program will do that to the best of us. We'll simply fall asleep. So you don't even want to come back as a person. You just want to come back and have, like, the carnal, primitive
life of nom, 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 eating meat and having sex with other wolves. Kevin Costner style. I'm just teasing you, man. Yeah.
But the motivation for that, in order to come back as an animal, be an interesting consciousness. But it's very funny about animals too, because some people say that like animals exist, like especially our canines, like our dogs and our wolves and stuff. They exist in many different dimensions all at once, and they're aware of it. That's why like your dogs, they're like
they'll pay attention when you have food or when you give it. But like when they're just kind of laying around, they're never really like fully paying attention. And then like when something startles them, all of a sudden they snap back into the 3D, and then they're like, "Holy moly, what is going on?" And they always look so super confused about that. And then they see one of their own kind, like another dog, and they absolutely lose their shit. they exist multi. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to bring up for the core group. We always used to say this channel was both interstellar and interspecies. If you are a dog owner, just remember, the dog is at home wherever you are. You are the dog's home. Your house is not your dog's home. Okay, when you're at home, when you're not at home and your dog's at home, your dog's not at home. Okay? Your dog only is at home when you are there, wherever you go. Yeah, rip you to shreds. Absolutely. But we'll all get this. I feel this pertains to what I was just talking about. Angelic assistants, you know. They'll be able to help to let you know what to do with your creative spark. They know that it's yours. You get help along the way. All this good stuff. Alright? Imagine if it, like, instead of Jurassic Park and all the dinosaurs came back to life, imagine if we just started cohabitating with angels visible in the 3D on Earth. That'd be out of control. That'd be out of control. They just pick up and fly away. Spelled backwards. It's a not a palindrome. It's a backwards word spelling thing. Yeah. Yeah, dogs are amazing. Dogs are 100% absolutely amazing. What kind of dog did you have, Ange? And thanks to everybody that's come to hang out tonight. It's cool. It's very cool. I was kind of hoping Christina would come, but she must be very busy. That's why they say, doggone it. Doggone it. What are some of our favorite dogs from folklore and pop culture? I like Hong Kong Phooey. I like Dino from the Flintstones. Although Dino was kind of like a dinosaur doll. I like Dino. You had a Great Dane and a Lab mix. Oh, beautiful. Big dog. Everything's running backwards. Like the solar winds, you know. Winds that flow against the sun are always sure to backwards run. The solar winds are pretty impressive stuff. I love how they stimulate the ethereal, the tingliness of the ninth dimension, so to speak. So I'm a little bit out there right now. Like I said, I've been having some really intense visions at bedtime and some very vivid dreams lately. I don't even have words to express about what's going on there, what I'm seeing. What other dogs from pop culture are fun? Of course there was Lassie. Remember Odie? I liked Odie from the Garfield cartoons. I think it's pretty good. Does he let you visit him, Rose? Does he let you visit the dog? Oh, sorry, Ange. Oh, no. Look, we just screwed it all up. Sorry, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. I was closer to the mic. But my voice isn't the primary thing here. It's just like for the music. That's why we want to be here, isn't it? I'm hoping to get some very chill vibes made up from our record producer, our studio manager. And I'm trying to brainstorm about some very cool ideas for like opening up like a broadcast chat where it's like it's just for you guys. It's just an open forum. Like you might not even see me here, but I could like pop in from time to time and be like, "Here's a tarot card," you know, who wants to talk to me real quick? But more like a study hour, stuff like this. That's okay. We got fixed. At least it's just my big thumbs. The Exolo dog. I've never heard of an Exolo dog. Animals don't talk. That's an interesting subject, though. Like, we were talking like a little bit about Gnosticism, about like how this planet wasn't really designed for us, and somehow we got trapped here. We're like trying to fight our way back out with some angelic assistance. And it's taken a long time, and somehow we just end up kind of coming back again and again and again. We're like really just trying to break free so that our consciousness can be like more omnipotent rather than localized in flesh and blood. And like how we talk about like our spirit animals and things like that. I think in like a time before history, like let's roll back the clock to like some 19,000 years ago. I think bestiality was probably pretty prevalent. And not by us, because we weren't even around yet, but by the things that created us. I think there was a lot of interspecies mingling going on back then, and then the whole idea of the flood, and then like us attaining like consciousness and technology like came about after. So like there would have been mixtures of like all these different kind of animals, and then like almost like Saruman creating the orcs down below the earth. You want to talk like Gnosticism has some pretty sick, twisted elements to it, none of which have to be like scary. Well, thank you for the compliment. You must be also. If you recognize it in me, then you must be also. Yeah, Gnosticism has some pretty like twisted ideas that like upset a lot of people, which is why I really don't like talk about it too much. But it's funny how I was thinking like about canines and about reptilian brains and like the lizard people, and like we all think that these are like outer space type people, but really like we're kind of like the ancient astronauts, and we had no like flesh and blood, so to speak of, but we came here in the form of consciousness, and it's going to be in the form of consciousness in which we make our escape as well. But the journey along the way, like I said, if you roll back the clock some 18,000 years ago, I think it was a pretty wild and crazy time for some interspecies mingling and dominance and fact-finding, until eventually one day this hairless, slippery monkey type thing fell about, but then it ended up becoming smarter than anything that created it. And then we dominated it. Now we're trying to fix it. It's been a long, according to Jerry Garcia, what a long, strange trip it has been. That's good. That's what I'm going for. Because a lot of the other stuff that I've been seeing lately in my visions and that I've been feeling and transmuting through my clairaudience has been about how we are going to be less like human and more just like pure information, pure photons, pure consciousness. Less tangible, but more beautiful, if that makes any sense. This is kind of like the next stage in our evolution will be to like kind of shed the localized consciousness, what we call the conscious mind, into a more omnipotent consciousness that is shared yet retains its individuality based on the timeline of wherever you are and whatever you choose to communicate and who you choose to communicate with. Right? It's kind of like ancient astronaut theory, right? That sort of stuff.
This is just my vape pen. It's just some cooling salts, some nicotine salts. Alright? I stopped smoking a while back. Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of research that's been done that's out there for you guys. If any of these kind of topics and stuff interest you, I mean, you have to be pretty discerning about what you hear and what you listen to. Some people will be like trying to explain it as absolute truth. Those are the ones that you want to be most wary of. But, you know, there are stories that have been passed down since time immemorial that they kind of have like amazing synchronicities with, and if it feels right, then that's particularly maybe like the channel or the path that you're on. Like I was telling one young lady earlier in the readings today, your path, never define your path as right or wrong, please. The path you are on is always the right path. It's always the path you're on. And if you consciously judge it as right or wrong, then you're the one that's making your path harder to travel. Okay? Even if you define it as right, well, it's always right. It's just, it is. And it's more like about destiny, things of this nature. Where you're at in your process. When you've come to expect the unexpected. How the subconscious can dictate our perceptions through willful submission to subliminal programming. Yeah, sure, absolutely. I agree with you, Steve. You got to be very careful if you guys are listening to stuff, audiobooks, and things like that when you're falling asleep. Oh, wow. You can really get in there and mumble and jumble things up for yourself, 100%. Is that there isn't any. Yeah. True story, bro. Man-made ideas, man-made concepts, even the most altruistic of them. When I'm like, I wish everybody the best in peace, prosperity, joy, bliss, abundance, happiness, benevolence, right? These are just our limited English words that we have for these man-made constructs, right? The true information behind these words, it's only a feeling. It's not even a thought. It can't even take on, these ideas. Like what's in the ocean? What's in the Bermuda Triangle? What's in Mariana's Trench? What's way down there? Some pretty scary monsters down there. Old monsters. And Percy Jackson in the Sea of Monsters. All that good stuff. Yeah, that's exactly. And Zulfalufik. I like your username. Thanks for joining us here tonight. We're kind of light on the ASMR. I should be shuffling some more. Or at least maybe have the microphone somewhere a little bit more better. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I could get really close to the microphone, but I don't want to creep anybody out. And I never know what kind of direction. Every live stream that I do takes on a direction of its own, kind of. But it's been a blessing to be able to facilitate some of this stuff for you guys. It makes me happy. It gets me euphoric to do these kind of things. So, yeah. There are a lot of those words out there that trigger endorphins in the mind, right? Snuffleupagus. Affluent. Lots of those kinds of words out there. Triggers, right? Yeah, interstellar beings, interstellar travels, things of that nature. Absolutely. There's one school of thought out there where they think that the entire universe is kind of like a part of a perfect equation that didn't quite balance out. You know, like in chemistry, when you have like that one leftover electron and you have to just say, well, screw it, there was one leftover electron. They figure that our entire universe, some people in this philosophy, bear with me for a minute, are kind of talking about how this was just like the whole universe, all of it, galaxy after galaxy after galaxy after galaxy, was actually just a little bit of a remainder of a perfect equation that was meant to cancel each other out. So like when the Big Bang went off, for example, let's just assume for a minute that the Big Bang happened, if that's how it was created, then, you know, an equal and opposite force should have occurred immediately following to cancel it all out, but it didn't. And this is just a tiny little remnant of some leftover perfect equation. And one day, as quickly as it started in the Big Bang, all of it is going to be like lights out, and it's all going to be gone. The only particle that will survive, you believe it? That's a housefly that came alive and just flew across the camera. Oh my goodness. Is the only particle that can escape a true vacuum, the void of space, is a photon, a fragment of light. So the best I feel that we can hope for our, ourselves and our ongoingness, is that our consciousness is very much like photons. It's like light information that travels through the darkness, and it's recognizable in its pattern and in its signature, which is why, like, with 9D, Wu Wei Invisible Action, Wu Wei 9D, who is our sponsor of the month, by the way, not Huawei 5G, we're in the Wu Wei 9D, that these people that are inventing the quantum computers right now and getting all this technology and up and off the ground and up and running, before we leave, we're going to be able to come to one of these quantum computers on our way out and be like, putting down like a thumbprint, like, blip, that was Steve, that was Ange, that was Legend, like, kind of like spray painting under the bridge, I was here. And we're going to leave this little imprint in the quantum knowledge on the planet Earth, because these quantum computers are now being able to access the information particles in the etheric realm. You think about the technology of your Wi-Fi. How does the Wi-Fi transmit the real-time imagery back into information and then back out into the etheric, much like for your eyeballs, right? It's going to get even more intense with the quantum computing that's coming out. They're going to be able to track like wake signals of spirit. They're going to be able to they're going to equate it to like being able to see ghosts with this quantum computing. And it's going to be real. They're going to be able to go into a haunted mansion, turn on the 4D computer, and be like, right there. It's right there. I can see it. I can see what it looks like. Because the wake fragment of the essence of the spirit, it leaves behind. It has this trail of photons that carries with it, because it's this consciousness. Right? So that's kind of exciting. It's just a prediction that's, you can kind of take to the bank. It'll be around the time where they're like desalinizing water for humans to drink, all these barges running off the coast of the ocean, taking salt water and turning it into fresh water. The quantum computers are going to be running just like at crazy speeds. You're going to be able to find old Grandpa Jed, with your 4D or with your quantum computer. Be like, Grandpa Jed, you're going to be able to talk to your grandkids over their quantum computer because you have a spiritual photon signature. So the veil is going to be like reduced. We're not going to need the psychics and mediums and tarot readers to talk to our loved ones that have passed anymore. You're just going to be able to get them like on dial-up and like over your quantum computer. You'll be able to see them just like you can over Skype or anything. They are on the precipice of this technology. That's why we're taking it to 90. Some of us who are truly like gone and out of here, all we're doing is we're leaving like a tag. We're leaving like all this kind of stuff. Do your vibe check first. Welcome to Dean Zero Extreme. Yeah. Hey June, welcome. Yeah, sorry, I know I'm scaring a lot of people tonight, but I wanted to share, I wanted to have this program. It's late night at the beach party, right? It feels good. Do your vibe check first. Yeah, you have to check it out. Like potatoes, like Plato. Oh, Plato's the allegory of the cave. Yeah, it's when we open our consciousness. It's when we open our minds. Yes, fully. 100%. Winter's here and I'm so happy. Winter's kind of nice, in a way. And I don't know where you're from, but here, winter means danger. Minus 60, minus 70, depending on your wind chill. So you gotta be safe, everyone. And so it is. Yeah, the old Lee Carroll. To be honest, Ange, I've been leaning away from the Cryon teachings. I check them out. I used to check them out quite regular. It definitely kind of got me thinking about a lot of stuff, and I don't know how active Lee Carroll is in his channeling of the magnetic master, they called him, or the Cryon entity. But lately this is all about like solving the world's problems and talking about like overcoming. But I feel that has a more of like a dogmatic evangelical, like evangelizing feel to it. And I feel like I kind of grew out of Lee Carroll. I feel like I couldn't really benefit from what he was saying anymore because I was being triggered just in my own discernment, my own take on things, my own understanding. His name is Lee Carroll, and he channels an entity called Cryon. This shit has been around since like the early 1990s, I think. I shouldn't call it shit. I'm sorry. His work has been around for since the early 1990s. He wrote many books, and he has a very good way of bringing you kind of, I don't want to say it, kind of into new areas of realization. Stuff that you wouldn't consider or think about too much anymore. He does it through the channeling of an entity that he calls Cryon. I think his following used to be a lot larger than it is now. He lived out there in California. He might still do it. You can search him up. All of his lectures and stuff are rebroadcast on YouTube nowadays. But it's very like preachy almost. And it's not that I dislike it. I just feel like I grew out of it. Right? Yeah, and so anyways, when you type in "and so it is," like Steve did, and sorry, I can't see that. Oh yeah, and Cheryl, and so it is. That's how he would end all of his channeled messages, with that phrase, with those 4 words, and so it is, right? Tarot is merely a tool to spur thoughts, a wonderful, effective one at that. Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. I've always been drawn to it. I feel like right now after 2012, a lot of people are getting the gift. They're learning the secret. They're finding out the meaning behind the meaning. And then we're all waking up in these beautiful, unique, individual ways. But before 2012, there were some of these people, like we talk about, like Lee Carroll and what was the other guy, like Terrence McKenna, Alan Watts, all of these forerunners, these people who were kind of like facilitators. They came in and they got the message sorted out. They figured out and they devised a way to explain it to us so that we still had our free will and our free choice, but they dropped knowledge, esoteric knowledge for us. And then it was kind of like 2012 happened and the doors of the stadium were flung open and we were all allowed to come inside and receive the gift, receive the all of it, right? And some of us are still like waiting to come through the door. I woke up briefly in 1998, but I was too young and I didn't know what was going on, so I kind of flipped the fuck out and then I suppressed it and ran away from it for a great numbers of years. And tarot was kind of like the lifeline or the string line that was left behind that I used to find my way back to, like, I had something of the esoteric that was tangible that I could hold on to and I could affect, you know, and I could help without like completely like going off the deep end, because I could still hold down like a 9-to-5 ditch digging blue collar job, you know, and all was well, all was good. I didn't have to worry about being down on the corner howdy in the street. I have a great reverence for tarot, even though it's like relatively new. You know, it's only been around, like 5 or 6 centuries at the latest. And we tend to talk about ages like the age of Taurus or the age of Virgo, shit that happened like 26,000 years ago when things were very different. But tarot's been a remarkable tool. It is a remarkable tool. In the right hands, it's like you wouldn't pick up a hammer and start beating yourself in the head with it, which I see a lot of that going on YouTube as well. And suffered mind expansion. Yeah, because what, like Alan Watts kind of turned back to alcoholism and past of heart failure. Terrence McKenna, they said that his death was associated with a brain aneurysm or a brain tumor, which you would think of any area of any guy, his brain should have been squeaky clean, but no. But who knows what happens after these people get like widely known and famous, and who says what to them, and how that triggers, and you know, all that stuff. Why were the angels fallen? Why did they fall? Why were they fallen? You know, and it's kind of like, it's why I don't gamble. It's why I don't go into a casino and play blackjack, for example. And the reason be it is because, like, I know when I pick up a tarot deck that it doesn't matter how I shuffle them, as long as all 78 of them are there. It doesn't matter how I cut them, how I shuffle them, if I got some reversed and some straight up, and then I cut them and I say my thing, and I've asked it the question, that even if at the end of my shuffling, for example, the King of Swords was somewhere like down here, but the reading called for the King of Swords to be in the reading, it, in essence, the photons or the cards or the real magic would be like, no, the King of Swords is on the top. It's there, right? And I believe that these things can be influenced, and that there's like still some pretty dark cultish things that go on, like cesspools as it were, of people that have dedicated their lives to trying to manipulate the pixelated deck of cards to their advantage. It's very interesting stuff.
And Hermes, the thrice only great, died 3 times and still lives. Yeah. They say there's some people on this planet that are like over 300 and 400 years old. You know, those pictures of the celebrities where they say, oh, so-and-so has time traveled because the picture of the guy back in, 1918 looks just like Chris Pratt or whatever. Oh, he time traveled. Yeah. But I want to share what I think about with you guys too sometimes. Maybe that's a little selfish of me, and I do it under the veil of sharing so that it doesn't seem selfish. But I would never preach to you this stuff. I would never proclaim it to be truth. But what I can do is just like make these predictions and share what I think. I ask for spirit and my angels before I touch my deck, just for protection. Yeah, I don't think anything bad can really happen as a result of reading tarot. I don't think you can endure some like bad karma, or what comes around goes around, I feel. Especially like if you're meddling and you're really like, being unauthentic with it. Which is why like I said, I watch some people on YouTube that pick up the hammer and just are hitting themselves in the head with it. It's kind of sad, but live and learn. C'est la vie. A 600-year-old 5th grader. Wow. And what did he say to you? Or she? What did they say to you? Who did he tell you that to? Your soul is only 1,000? Or is 1,000? Yeah, I don't know. And time, just like all this is like this mental construct that we've created for ourselves. Years. What is the concept of a year? There's a tear in my beer 'cause I'm lonesome for you, dear. When you were 10, that's pretty early for that kind of stuff. That's pretty early for that kind of stuff. But I mean, that was a different time back then. I was quite sheltered up here in my childhood. Luckily, I didn't have to go through any of that before my brain was ready. Because, when they talk about, if you listen to like Joe Rogan and these guys, they're on there and they're desperately seeking to find out like how psilocybin works and why DMT is the way it is. And they talk to each other about their experiences with these drugs. But, I don't recommend drugs to anybody, whether they're harmless hallucinogens or, really bad stuff, because all of these chemical compounds exist in our brain, and if you find a way through stilling your mind, you can release these compounds, you have control to release these chemical compounds out of your brains. You release it, but what you see isn't under your control. But the fact that you know that you're releasing DMT through your pineal, through the blood-brain barrier, and now you're experiencing visions before you go to sleep or in the depths of your meditation. You can turn that off like maple syrup out of a tree. You can adjust that a little bit. You want a little bit more, you want a little bit less. You got to go to a board meeting today. Well, maybe you don't want to be in a mindset or for your pineal gland to create more DMT for yourself that day. And then there's other times where it's like I just want to relax, I want to get in touch with spirit, and I want to see what my subconscious or what my unconscious is trying to tell me. So you turn it up in your pineal. And unfortunately, there's so many people out there, and their ability to create DMT through their pineal gland has been taken away from them through people putting like fluoride in their water or through eating cheese slices all day, every day. They don't have the luxury because this gland has become calcified, but it's the true nature of who we were meant to be. So I hope and encourage that everybody is able to get there. I see some new people coming into the chat now. Oh, for your animal's health. Hi, animal's health. We were talking about animals earlier, and it was kind of scary. Well, for me, anyways. And I see seashell case. I'd love to go there. Yes, I am really on the beach. Can you tell by this wave that's here? This is the eternal wave for the ultimate surfer. This is the wave that never finishes breaking. Thanks, Seashell Case. Welcome to the program. This is a relaxation hour, or maybe a couple hours, for us and our friends. 99.9 presents the late night Akash in true fashion of just creating a sacred space for us. I'm not working too hard right now. Yeah. And what about like the Kundalini as well? We got to take the Kundalini into consideration. But it's funny, like the Kundalini, people that are like don't really know too much, they're like, whoa, that seems like a very spiritual, like, but the Kundalini, it brings a lot of physicality with it. You need to be able to stretch out because it will activate every single nerve ending in your entire body. Like all of a sudden, your whole body is like the most sensitive nerve ending, and it's like, yeah, it's we got to take a lot of this stuff into account because it's more. You're right, Steve. It's more than just the pineal gland. It's the whole antenna. It's the whole antenna, right from your butthole all the way till up above the crown chakra, and it goes out beyond you into your ethereal realm. Your bubble. It's good stuff. But that's what I just wanted to say. It's like that's why I never encourage people to like do hallucinogenics that are unsafe, because you can make that stuff in your brain. You can train your mind and your body to have it for yourself at your leisure, and that's the true state of what we as humans is one of our other gifts, like free will and spirit. But your contact through the Wu Wei 9D or what they're starting to discover with these quantum computings. This is about being able to communicate in a catalyst light language. That it's not sonic. It's not through out your mouth and through your ears. This is more like visionary stuff. Yeah, and that's what the Gnostics feared the most too. And it was like, and that's how they came to that conclusion that ultimately we were trapped here in flesh and blood and on this planet. Because they felt that all matter was like, had this like demonic quality to it due to its density, due to the fact that that light could not permeate through solid objects, so therefore it was not holy, or it was not in our greatest good to have matter even. And then that went right down into nature too. If the old Gnostics were alive today and saw much reverence that we have for nature, they would flip their shit. They would flip their wig. They would think we were all like worshiping evil and stuff like that, because we have reverence and we receive comfort for our Kundalini out in nature. So I don't necessarily agree with everything that, and I don't even know if they've said it. It's like we said, it's come down through like 4,000 or 5,000 years now. But, yeah. Life ain't safe, bro. Well, ignorance is bliss in that regard, If I think my life is important, then I can fear the danger of having it. But if I really don't give 2 cents for it, then ultimately it's like I feel pretty protected because I don't care about it. And even like I think the Bible and some other texts talk about like, if you want your life, give it up freely, give it up. And if you guard your life with all that you have, surely you will lose it. It's a universal law is coming through. Not anymore, Miriam. It used to be probably like a half a century ago. It was probably safe. Nothing bad would really happen to you, you know. But now it's not, you know, unless you know like an amazing chemist, I would never recommend it. I would never say that it's safe, because you don't just want to go get some. It's like anything, you know, in your food, or you have to know what you're putting into your body. You know, exactly. And when it comes to chemistry and drugs, you have to know what you're putting into your body on a molecular level and how much of it, right? So you don't want to hurt yourself in all this. It's even people that like achieve Kundalini awakenings through maybe like orgasm or a sexual experience, but they don't know how to handle the energy. Or perhaps on a drug experience, they can trigger or activate Kundalini awakening, and then all of a sudden they end up in the psych ward of a mental institution, not because of the drug, not because of the sexual experience or the memory, but because of the fact that Kundalini was awakened when the consciousness was not ready to receive it. And it can really F you up. Yeah. We're all so perfectly unique. That's one thing that collective has in common. We're all unique. And it's the thing that makes us not collective. Isn't it ironic? It's all like a bad Alanis Morissette song, really. It's like rain on your wedding day, right? Right. Absolutely. I would just love to see it where people could come to that point of realization, of gnosis, without needing them or taking them. I mean, if we could do it in a way that was like ethically really boss, and you know, we could assure that people weren't going to go off the deep end, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not here to tell you like what your values should be, what you should and shouldn't do. That's not my place to say. For me, drugs are bad. For me, drugs are not good. But for somebody else, they might be fine, right? So it's like I will even, as much as I disdain alcohol, that I absolutely like do not care for what it does to human consciousness, not only in myself and in collective, I will still sometimes have a drink. I will still sometimes have a beer or have a Caesar with dinner, just because it's flavorful and it helps clear out some of those. Believe it or not, alcohol can be like a scrubbing toxin to some of the organs. All right. In mild doses, but I don't like what it does to consciousness at all. So what's good for the goose might not be good for the gander, right? What's good for you might not be good for somebody else. Right? Yeah, and some foods are, right? The whole plant-based things, like the nectar of the gods, right? Fungus among us, all that kind of stuff. You just have to know your limits. All that kind of stuff. Right. Yeah. To mold our perceptions. Oh yeah, all of it. I've been warning people constantly about the Hallmark Christmas channel. Like, people can get so emotionally thrown by that shit, in the fantasy of it and the immersion of like, that shit is not real life. That is a bunch of nobodies that hired another bunch of nobodies to portray another bunch of nobodies to influence all of the nobodies that turn in to watch it. So you got 4 groups of nobodies running around in a circle. Nothing's getting accomplished except for the delusional state that it puts us in. And it's purposely driven to separate you from your money and to subdue you. All right? If they had their way, we would all be ordering skip the dishes every day. We would never leave our house. We would order everything we saw on TV off of Amazon. And they run amok because we're subdued. We're passive that way. And I'm not trying to inspire any kind of like big revolution or anything like that. I'm just saying it's good to be aware, and it's good to exercise your rights and your freedoms wherever you have opportunity to do it. Right? Up here we face a battle because, where I'm at in Canada, we face pressure that our oil and gas is destroying the world. Well, really, you can't prove that because it's out in the air, but yet nobody talks about every 7-Eleven, every convenience store you walk into. If you were to unwrap every bag of potato chips, every candy bar wrapper, every bag of peanuts in all of those stores, you could replace the oceans with plastic. Yet everybody's on oil and gas being like it's destroying the world, yet nobody is fighting against single-use plastics or even multiple-use plastics that eventually get thrown away. All of this stuff, we're encouraged to consume it. Yet no. Don't burn oil and gas through your automobile, which is our last bastion and our most important freedom that we hold dear in Western civilization is our cars, is our upward mobility, our freedom and our luxury to travel, So you have to realize that when they're spreading these messages, it is a matter of them spreading the messages when it's convenient to their agenda. This is very deep state stuff, and I don't really like to talk about politics too much, or current affairs. I like to steer clear, but sometimes they come in. All right. Welcome, Jake Reed. Thanks for coming into the program. Yeah. And to those of us, cheers, everyone. Cheers to those of you that are awakened to your new understandings in life. Thank you for not becoming a product of their agenda. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you for that. Let's make more of us. We love all of us. Hey, Yvette. It's good to have a representative from the Southern Hemisphere, the Humma Hemisphere in the house. Jake Reed, I seen you retracted your message. I didn't get a chance to read it. How are you tonight, Jake? Yeah, there's a lot of problems. Hopefully we can create, what I believe we need to do is to create and manifest more altruistic human beings that walk the planet, that eventually find themselves in places of power, that can infiltrate, this deep state with altruism and bring it back, help turn the boat around, so to speak. That's just kind of like my whole, our generation's kind of screwed up, Yvette, it's good to see you. How are you? What time is it there? Jeepers creepers. Do you guys see this other thing I saw? I got a smartphone, so I see this stuff. Butt sunning? What do they call it? Butt sunning? Or these people that are coming into the genre of holistic health that say you should expose your bare ass to sunlight for 20 minutes a day. How convenient is that for you to do that? And they're describing all these benefits of sunning your ass, of pointing your ass. It's kind of like mocking the eternity of it all. 6 p.m. on Tuesday. All right, it's already tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll want to settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. We got about a half an hour left, everybody. Welcome, Ali. Good to see you here. Thanks to all the new people that have jumped in today. I'm surprised we haven't got trolled. When our introspection and our vibe of the mind is high, normally that's when we get trolled the most often. But we haven't been, so that's really nice. Welcome, Ali.
Good to see you on the program tonight. You stumbled across a very benevolent tribe of people that surfs the etheric matrix. And don't worry, if you feel like this is a little weird or this is a little bit out there, it's okay, because it is. We run other programs on this particular YouTube channel. We talk a lot of tarot, and we do a lot of intuitive problem solving, I want to call it. Yeah, no, what I saw, and I haven't like fully. It's like these ladies, they go outside and they point their bare ass up at the sunlight. They call it like butt sunning or something like this. I don't know. It's this weird trending thing that I saw on the interweb. I thought, how strange, but and that in itself was just kind of like odd or funny. I thought, I was like, okay, the sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while, but to consciously go out and moon the sun, get it, moon the sun. It's like, my goodness, and to do it with the hope of like spreading their message of healing yourself in doing this. I don't know, maybe it works. Who am I to judge? Who am I to say? But the feeling I have on it is you don't have to bend over and point your ass on the sun to be healthy. Just put your ass to work every now and again. That'll keep you healthy. You don't have to point your butthole at the light of an ascended master. You just don't have. And whatever happened to skin cancer? Aren't these people? Are they putting like SPF 200 up their crack to do this stuff? It's weird. It's just weird to me. Butt sunning. And the ethereal, yeah. Ask her the right questions. You'll get a wealth of information, Ange. Right? Oh, it must be so interesting for the new people that checked out this program and thought maybe there was some ASMR going on. We should shuffle up some cards. We should get a few more cards out here tonight. What can we pull? Ooh, let's go into the rebels. Let's talk some sacred rebels for a little bit. Alright. The rebel yelled. There's no revolution coming. At least not here. Not for a while. Maybe on the other side of the world. Kind of interesting. I really don't get current, but it's a late night Akash. All this trouble over in China now. China. Hopefully they figure it out. That's all I want to say. Yeah. That should be like, as soon as she could talk, as soon as she like understands, you should be like, who are you? Just drill her with that. Or him. Is it a grandbaby girl or a grandbaby boy? Oh, it's a her? Yeah, ask her. Be like, who are you? And then give her the old twisted sister. What do you want to do with your life? I want to run. Yeah, absolutely. We talked a lot of weird stuff tonight. Been an interesting vibe. I was really happy with the program earlier today. Even though the readings that were coming out were tough, it was really weird. It was like all these relationship readings were happening, and they were not good. They were like about the ex that had long since said adios. They were about it was about this kind of stuff, as it typically is. I'm used to it. It's kind of like water off a duck's back anymore, but you gotta let the cards give the message that they need to give. But at the very end, somebody came in and they were like, I just met someone, how does it look? And the cards came up super positive, so it was funny, like the last reading of the day, I was happy I was able to deliver like a positive, inspiring message, and just like set the whole tone for the rest of the day. Yeah, you still miss her. It's good. It means that your heart is alive, that your heart hasn't become like mine. It's just super icy and cold and dead. You're the fact that you still miss her. It's a good sign that your heart is still vibrant and warm and alive, and it's okay. You don't have to feel guilty or weird or pathetic about that. It doesn't mean that you're not strong. In fact, it means that you're even more strong. The fact that you are in acceptance and the fact that you can embrace the knowledge that you do miss her, it's strength. It's strength, right? Yeah. Some of the stuff was interesting. SK Erica, God love her, she always challenges me. She always gets right up in my face. Oh, here it is. Oh. Sacred Rebel, card number 33, card of heaven sent. Right? Remember this light language that we've been talking about. Remember this, you guys. I don't want to promote it. You don't have to remember it, but I'm saying you heard about it here, or maybe you haven't heard about it before, but if you can kind of keep it in the frontal lobe, if you can kind of keep it through your mundane lifestyle of the fact that there's more being communicated than what is just sonic, what is just said and heard. Not even just through body language, but the light behind the body language. The movement in this air of the space in between you and that other person that you're talking to. This is all information. And as you awaken in consciousness, you're going to be able to even become the recipient or your antenna. We talked about the pineal and the spinal column and the chakra. You will be able to receive more information through the different frequencies of the new catalyst, the new light language that is about us, that is with us. And it's tough, because it's tough to hold on to that stuff, especially when you're standing in line in Safeway and you feel like you're tripping out, but you realize, no, I haven't done any drugs in 20 years, but why the hell do I feel like I'm having a panic attack, or that I'm about to freak out because, somebody's Grandpa Jed is standing right there with them in the line in front of you in Safeway, and they've been dead since 1953. You don't have to freak out. You don't have to you can just achieve that new level of awesomeness if you could. It's hard to make it practical, Steve. It really is, because it's what do you do? What do you say? It's did you just say hi to me twice? No, I said hi to you and your Grandpa Jed. You can't. So you just have to go back into that old Buddhist mindset of simply nod at them, Yeah, you're cool. You're all right. And I've often had this. Okay, bear with me. I got a little story for you. We had this we called it the crack McDonald's. There was this McDonald's that was attached to a Walmart, and every time we would go there, the place was absolutely busted and mangled. There was ketchup on the ceilings. There was the pop was self-serve, and there was just pop and cups everywhere, and the homeless people would be digging through the trash to find a cup and get a cup of pop, and garbage was just everywhere, and it was just they didn't have enough people to staff the place, and it was just a hardcore McDonald's. But you'd walk in there, and sometimes we would go in there, more often not, you would see an elderly couple, late 80s, 90s even, and they'd be sitting there enjoying French fries, a Big Mac, and a pop, right? And the young gangbangers and the kids and the derelicts, they didn't bother them. They didn't want anything to do with them. They had nothing to offer them, and they just kind of respected that was their space, and good on you for being here if you wanted to be here. But I would often look upon them and think, my God, are they even real? Are they simply angels made manifest? Angels that simply, for the sake of having a friggin' Big Mac, manifested flesh and bone for themselves, sat down, smiled at me, my kid, and watched the turmoil go on all around them. Because nobody was going to go up and touch these old people. We don't live in a society like that. They're not about to get mugged. They're not about to, like, somebody to go over and put a hand on their shoulder. This was a crack McDonald's. So I'd often think, if nobody's going to touch them, how can I even know that they're even really there? Are they really just communicating to each other, and maybe even to me, because I'm a little bit aware of things like this, that they don't have to remain in this etheric, mystical corner of the room that they're looking after. Hell no, they can look like Grandma and Grandpa Jed and sit there and eat if they want to. It's their prerogative. It's their right. But I often got to thinking, if I went up and touched one of them and my hand went right through them, I would freak out. I would bug out. Because they totally looked out of place there. That was not a place where you would go in your 90s to go and sit and be there. And it would be different every time. There would be like a different old couple, or sometimes just a little old lady on her own. It just like blew my mind. Maybe that's just because I'm sheltered and maybe they were senile and didn't know any better, or were completely unaware of their circumstances and they actually were alive. But I thought both things could possibly be possible, because I do believe in infinite potentiality. Yes, we are in opposition. Taurus, we are old friends. I was talking a lot today about the Gemini-Sagittarius opposition. This is a beautiful full moon coming up in Gemini. This is going to be a nice, bright one. It's going to be beautiful, especially for the air signs, and Gemini in particular. Because this is a time of reflection and true mirrored energies. It's going to be stuff. Alright. So don't feel any less of yourself of being emotional and actually caring. Okay. It actually means you're stronger. You actually have the ability to do it. Right? Don't let your heart grow cold. Especially if you've been single for a very long time. So, yeah. Alright. This is what we're going to do, everybody. I'm kind of getting ready to be done, I guess. Let's draw up one last oracle card for everybody. And then we can say goodnight. I hope your Mondays didn't get anybody too stressed out. It's already Tuesday for in bed. Hopefully all of you can have a nice week. Don't let stress accumulate. Don't let it build up. Do whatever you can to transmute it in the moment. And any that comes home from you at the end of the day when you go into sanctuary, do the exercises you need to do so that that stuff doesn't linger in your time. Your time to be creative, your time to relax, your time to meditate. Whatever it is that you do. Yeah, I need some new tunes for these. It's pretty late in that. It's I gotta use all the copyright stuff. Do you guys have any suggestions? If you guys ever come across cool music or copyright free music that you'd like me to play on the channel, hit me up on the old Instagram. Hit me up on the emails. If it's not going to get the channel in trouble, we can go ahead and play it. Yeah, it's good. This is for the select few. This is for for our tribe, for our people. Like I was mentioning, when you turn on new wave Zen meditational music and they just open up a live chat room to beach scenes like this and calm, relaxing music, you usually just find a bunch of teenagers talking in there. I was really surprised. People getting into petty arguments and then coming out and saying they were 12 years old and 14 years old, and I'm you guys are hanging out on a relaxed meditation channel and having live chat here. I'm in a way this is very cool. I'm glad that you're zenning out right now to this music, but at the same time it's you kind of can realize and appreciate in a situation where a chat was more mature,
So with the study hours and stuff that we want to do, and if you guys are interested, if I find myself in a situation again where I have unlimited data, I could turn on a lot more like live broadcasts where maybe I wouldn't even be present, but there could be like cool slideshow and relaxed music where you guys could just come and chat. Hi Lillian, welcome. Yeah, party's almost over. It wasn't really a party tonight. It was just kind of a relaxed vibe. Sober reality. Welcome, Lillian. Sorry we're almost done. We are going to pull one more oracle here for tonight out of this deck. It should be good. I forget what this deck is called. It's like the 7 Ray of Light oracle, or I don't know. It's what's her name? Anna Fairchild, I think is her name, that created these cards. I think we got it. I think we got our card. I kind of like this. This is the first card in the deck. The first ray of power. This is kind of a nice reminder to not to doubt your intuition ever. You got instinct. The first feeling, the first thought is 9 times out of 10 the right one. It doesn't let you down. And it can be very empowering when you know that no matter what you choose, you can be unaffected. It's when we try too hard that we give away our power. It's when we think too much, we give away our power. It's when we care too much, we give away our power. Okay. That's why you see me kind of like usually in realms of humor and laughter and lightheartedness, right? Because if we get too attached, emotionally put out by these things, then we lose our first ray of power. We lose our first instinct. We lose our ability to rationalize and to react appropriately, emotionally appropriate to the situations when we become too invested. The first ray of power exists. It doesn't ask you to be invested in anything, to be invested in any of it, really. You simply go into silent witness mode, observation, like become the watcher. Hey, thanks, Steve. That's really cool of you. The full meal deal, right? Give me a number 4 with extra. Can I get extra salt on my fries? You know? That's the guy. The guy at McDonald's putting extra salt on his fries. That's the guy that's living to be about 110, maybe $1.20. Because it's irony. You know? That other guy you see out there jogging down the damn concrete road, pounding his knees into submission because he thinks he's getting healthier. Unfortunately, that's the guy that, you know, is going to put the most strain on your health care by the age of 60. Okay? You don't have to try hard to attain peace. It's innately present within each and every one of us. We simply need to step away. I know. I don't even want to say the word ego. Not to mention any names here. But ego and Chronos, those guys, we can bounce those guys like idiots from a house party. We don't need time and power. That's how they're thriving. And we're coming out of it. We're pulling out of it. It's all right. It's like winning the race by putting your car in reverse and being like, I just crossed the finish line, ding dongs. You know? Yeah, absolutely serious. And it is, because it's authentic, and we are here to promote happiness and imagination. And sometimes that involves diving really deep. And I'm glad that we do this still sometimes, because the live tarot programs are just unchained and silly, and we are really dealing with a lot of problem solving. I mean, they are really fulfilling, but these ones is like takes a cake. Serenity at peace. Party Cash. It's Party Cash, right? It's Johnny Cash. Yeah.
All right. So were there any last questions or anything that you guys wanted to talk about or bring up before I say goodnight tonight? Everyone deserves to be happy and everybody wants to be happy. Yeah, Lillian, you're absolutely right. You know, we're designed to be happy, you know. That's why our babies, and Ange was talking about her granddaughter. Before all of the social conditioning and programming comes in, your true state is happiness. You know, baby sitting there in its high chair being like that. And it's all bliss until it's told, you must learn how to walk. You must learn how to poop in the toilet. You have to. You know, not all conditioned thinking is bad. It's good that we have a little bit of ego so we don't put food in somebody else's mouth. Or that we actually remember to go to the washroom to pass gas. All that kind of stuff. It's a choice. 100% a choice. Well, that's good. That's what I wanted, you know. Just to say, I want to keep on this. Thanks, Animals Health. I really do. For you guys. As soon as I am again once in the area of unlimited data, even if I'm busy studying or I go to class, I would love to be able to turn on something that you guys can have a safe chat room, you know, and have this, even without me here to bore you or make you smile. You know, it's very egotistical to me to think that I need to be here for this. You guys can take the reins. You guys can take control. But you've got to kind of let me know, you know, content-based, what kind of things you'd like to see in terms of like, I mean, when I come on and do the tarot programs, you're darn right, it's my show. But if I'm going to open up these study hours and make them yours, I'm going to be like searching for content and ideas for content that you guys want and make you feel happy and safe to come in and chat with one another. Absolutely. A channel message for Midnight Star. I really need you to know why Hottie with the Body toasted me without saying goodbye. Oh, he gave you the Leonardo DiCaprio, like, and then turned around and left? I don't know. I think it's like one of two things. You either caught his eye, but Hottie with the Body, he might have just been extremely arrogant. It could have been an Aries, just screwing with you. Had you known him from before, Midnight Star? That's interesting. Did you know him from before? Yeah, anything positive vibing would be absolutely great. Like, would you guys like more like narrative, like audiobook? Like if I put on like a deeply philosophical reading of text, would that be something you'd be more interested in? Would it be like maybe a little bit less funeral-y music? Something a little bit more upbeat? Well, what kind of things would like get you guys engaged and want to kind of just stay and talk to each other? I think it would have to be something thought-provoking. Because if we just turned on meditative music and then the room would fill up with teenagers and you guys would constantly just be kicking them out. Let's see what I can see. Hottie with the Body. There's a table. There's a round table. And there's something stuck under the table. And there's a bar. I'm kind of like seeing the setting right now. I'm seeing like round tables and bars. I don't know if this is a true setting. I think he was either really arrogant or he's married. No, just stop talking. Just on the phone. You never met in person. Toasted me without saying goodbye. So you weren't even in the same... How did he toast you? I don't understand what happened. I don't know. I'm like... fall asleep with a mix. Oh, maybe we can do a mix of both. Steve says binaural beats. Yeah. He's married? Hottie with the body toasted you, not said goodbye. It might have just been like a smooth move, like an arrogance, a level of arrogance, maybe. I don't know. Maybe there's something in spirit. Could have been a message from higher. Ghosted. Okay. I saw toasted, like somebody like raising their glass to you from across the room and then setting it down, turning around and walking out. Could be something, so that takes out the arrogance. But it could be married, right? Could very well be married or have Steve says he's available. Either that or he like chickened out. You know what, Midnight Star, I'd love to pull some tarot on that. That's really where that forte for a question like that would be with tarot. You know, I haven't been doing any visioning channeling tonight at all. We've just been talking and simply like vibing out and chilling out. So I'd love to read on that. So hopefully, I guess I should give you guys a bit of a programming update. There's a good chance that I could be around on Thursday night. It would be a quiet program like this one. Live tarot might not be able to happen again until next Monday. Okay, I'm still in gypsy mode. I got a month until school starts. I'm gonna be November flew by, you guys, and I gotta be on campus in January. I got to be, right. Talk about all this stuff, yet I'm still out there trying to live a life. It's mind blowing. But still in gypsy mode. So hopefully next Monday for live tarot again. I don't make promises. I don't write checks my butt can't cash, but I love doing these programs for you guys, so I try to do them. Thursday night we might be able to come back in like some sort of context like this. And then a vibrant live tarot program next Monday. This is kind of the hopes. But don't pencil me in. It's not a sure thing. It's not etched in stone, and I can't even give you the appropriate Eastern and Pacific Standard Times for doing as such, because I just don't try to live my life that way. And thank you all for your understanding, and thank you all for coming out tonight. Thank you for the super chat, Steve. That's really cool. I'm glad you appreciate these programs. I appreciate doing them. I'm thankful that you come, and I'm glad I get to do them for you. And we'll be trying some new stuff in the very near future. Alright. I'm just getting started, though, Leanne. Good luck on finishing. Absolutely good luck on finishing. Alright, we got about 9 minutes left in the program. We got about 9 minutes left, 10 minutes. Hi, Christina. Thanks for coming in. You missed all the mumbo jumbo. We were telling ghost stories and making wacky predictions for thousands of years in the future. He is married and told you that up front when we started talking about 7 years ago, but we talked on the phone 5 years solid and then the last 2 years off and on. And then you made a plan to meet him, or he ghosted you on the talking on the phone business? If he ghosted you in the talking on the phone business, yeah, that is definitely like a marital vibe that's coming up there where someone was like, stop it. Right? But if he ghosted you in person, but if he stopped texting you, it was probably like somebody got perturbed by that, or a situation changed. Maybe he renewed his commitment or his conviction to satisfying his wife. Maybe he decided that he wanted to be a little bit more monogamous with his energy. Because the marriage thing comes up, but also that bar sort of thing. Sealing round tables in a bar. You could be like sitting down Yeah, he ghosted you on the phone, stopped texting back, stopped returning your calls. That could have been like intervention through family and his wife and stuff. Like his living situation could well have changed. And he just had to cut ties. Thank you. As always, all programming on 99.9 brought to you by the good people at The Real Thank You Water. You know the drill. You know that appreciation of the little things of health, water, food, the sun, the moon, the air, the earth, holding appreciation in your consciousness for that which collective takes for granted, and even we sometimes have the tendency to take for granted, is the beginning to the steps toward abundance, fulfillment, bliss, and satisfaction. Just something you can just say it. Something you can use for your own life. But when we talk about the catalyst light language, we're going to have to come up with something even better than thank you water. I got that feeling deep down inside. Right? Man with a wife. If you want to be happy for the rest of your life. Just teasing everyone. Maybe he didn't pay his cell phone bill. Wouldn't that be something? You know, I'm so tempted to pick up my tarot cards. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Just for Midnight Star. Just for Midnight Star. Nobody else. Nobody else. Just for Midnight Star. No more questions. No more questions. It was almost a 5-hour tarot program today. And then 2 hours of chilling and hanging out. Oh, I shouldn't have picked them up. Actually, look what happened. Steve was probably right. Look, the Knight of Pentacles showed up. Do you have any kids? Did he have any kids, Midnight Star? Something could have come up around his family life, his marriage and kids. What about you? Welcome to B-Bone. Bebopalula, she's my baby. Bebopalula, I don't mean maybe. Bebopalula, she's my baby, yeah. I want tarot cards? Amazon. They're a perfect place to get some. Oh. I pulled a Knight of Pentacles. I don't even know what that means. I'm not even in the mindset. I can't even channel tarot messages right now. I just can't. Yes, he did have kids. There could have been something happened there with a child and in the marriage situation where it's like he kind of like rearranged his priorities and simply like cut ties with you. I do. The PayPal link is in the description. You have to close the live. If you're on your phone, you have to close the live chat, and then you can go into the description box, and the link is there. I should get a thing where I post the link in the chat, but me being me, I'm not technologically that advanced. But Lillian, I'm not taking donations for readings right now. I'm not. If you want to send a donation to the channel to support it, you're more than welcome to do so, but please don't use the PayPal to pay for a reading right now, because I'm not there. If you want to get in touch with me for personal readings, you can do that as well. I prefer you guys get to know me a little bit on Instagram first to request them, and then we work out an arrangement. Okay, that's how my personal readings work, and I do that so that I don't get a lot of requests. Okay, all right, absolutely. And it's good when you guys come to these programs. It helps me remember you for next time when you jump into a live chat, and if you vibed with us before, it will influence me in the present moment to make sure that we get you on like a question and answer list, or set some time aside to read some cards for you. So it's really good stuff that way. All right. Okay. Right. So everybody, thank you to all our moderators. You guys are wonderful. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for being here. And to everybody that's joined in the chat tonight, thank you so much. B-Bone, make sure to hit subscription and notification bell. If I'll remember you now. You can get in here and come in for a reading, but make sure you sign up, get subscribed, join the tribe, vibe up with us. Oh, for sure. Thank you so much for that, Liliana. I appreciate that. It's really cool of you to do as such. Keeps the lights on here at the studio. Right? Yeah, I know. It's just a lack of respect, right? It's a good thing you didn't get too entangled with that guy, Midnight Star. Phone was more than enough, right? Oh, yeah. Hey, Gallo, it's been a minute. Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, I've been on for close to 6 hours already today, but thanks for keeping it real, Gallo. All your hard work is going to pay off. That's your message. I just knew to say that to you tonight. Your hard work is going to pay off. It was some good beach time. We're going to be doing more of this. Next Thursday, I'm hoping for a little bit of beach time. And then the big tarot program again, hopefully next Monday. That's kind of like the plan as it stands right now. It's good to have a good plan, man Stan, my man Stan. Get on the bus, Gus. Make a new plan, Stan. No need to be coy, Roy. Just get yourself free. Okay? Absolutely. Live in appreciation of your liberty and inspire others this week. Please go forward into the world with your awesomeness and inspire others as best you can. That's right, gal. That's right. Inspire others as best you can. Don't get pushy with it. But again, sometimes all that takes is a smile, a kind word, holding the door open. Become the ripple of the macrocosm, butterfly effect for all of us. All right? Okay, everyone. Much love, knowingness, and infinite blessings and appreciation to you all. As always, it's time to have a good night. Good night,